Has it been that long? Local media has been experimenting with digital for about 30 years now. Back in 1981, a group of newspapers reached out to the tech-savvy guys in the newsroom. They said, here, go figure this thing out called digital. Oh, and while you're at it, try to make some money with it.
Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started.
This is an experiment. We're trying to figure out what it's going to mean to us as editors and reporters and what it means to the home user. And we're not in it to make money. We're probably not going to lose a lot, but we aren't going to make much either.
Do you have people like this running your website? We certainly hope not, because if you do, you're going to get your clocks cleaned with all these new competitors going after your local clients. Your managers are really good with new business development, right? You know, the digital kind? Well, they should be. Even though it's a relatively small part of your overall revenue, it is the fastest growing revenue stream in advertising today. It's true, Groupon, Google, and Facebook are threats, but traditional media is also adding to the pressure. You know things are getting heated when even the TV industry is ramping up its hyperlocal efforts and getting aggressive.
Hyperlocal, in effect.
Hyperlocal, I mean, it's gigantic. You got Google getting into it, you got AOL Patch. I mean, every client I see talks about local, 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 local. And I talk about, you know, the breadth of services that our stations provide, which is hyperlocal websites, community websites, which are very, very big and growing.
Earlier this year, the New York Times hosted a meetup or a mini conference focused on hyper-local business models for news. They invited some really smart people to be on the panel, including the president of Patch, who talked intelligently about local web sales, advertiser budgets, and sustainable business models for news. But for some reason, the New York Times didn't seem to get the memo.
My approach in all humility, since the theme of this is mainly about the business, is to say I'm an editor. While I have been part of an effort to assiduously find new ways to throw my head against the brick wall of hyperlocal business models, my expertise is on the journalism side, and I want to mainly talk about that. There is no way that our hyperlocal effort could be accused of being tainted by advertising.
Well, that's nice. No wonder the New York Times had to unload a portion of their hyperlocal project to some local universities.
We have a local site in the East Village that we do in collaboration with the Arthur Carter Journalism Institute at NYU, which is their J School.
Think those college professors can help the New York Times figure out some hyperlocal business models? I'm sure they know how to save online journalism and make money with our content, right? You know, maybe someone with a strong, proven sales and leadership background. You know, someone with passion and excitement in their voice.
Few of us actually know where these new revenues are going to come from. And this business model problem is kind of an unsolved crisis within the profession. But one way that people in journalism can begin to find the new money is not to look on the revenue side at all, but look at these falling costs and try to imagine how the falling costs for like-minded people to locate each other, share information, collaborate, and publish what they know might begin to improve journalism.
Well, I'm sure that's going to work out well for the New York Times. If the people in charge of your digital operations are still living by the theory, build it, and they will come, that's a problem. Hey, let's focus on editorial, build a lot of content, get lots of page views, then tell the sales department to go out and sell it at a high CPM. Hate to break the news to you, but CPMs are in a death spiral. They rarely go up. When you sell CPM, cost per thousand, you actually devalue your premium content and audience. You're turning your inventory into a commodity. Even if we go back into ancient history, you'll see charming prognosticators warning us about the stupidity of CPM selling.
Salespeople get so caught up in the game, they call on agencies. And agencies say, well, I can buy station B at a lower cost per point. You're out of here. And the sales guy says, oh, geez, okay, I better go back and figure out how to do bonus spots. Or how about I throw in a promotion? And you love to hear about that when they get back, don't you? I think the great radio stations don't pay any attention to that cost per point crap. And if they can't get by the agency, they go see the client. And the agencies will get mad at that. What do you mean seeing my client? You know my answer to that? Well, you get 15%, we get 85%. I think they're our client too. And the guy down at the hardware store wants the cash register to ring, so why don't you go work the computer and we'll try to sell some stuff?
We think in terms of cost per inch, cost per thousand. And everybody out here talking about the web from the newspaper business talks about attracting more eyeballs so we can get a higher cost per thousand. How can we get more traffic to our website? That's the wrong question. We think in those terms because the only thing we have is bigger audience must be more valuable.
Even high-powered, equity-backed vendors and sales rep firms admit that selling CPMs at the local level really sucks, especially in radio and streaming audio.
We see Slacker, we see Pandora every day delivering online audience in different proportion and applying the targeting capabilities that exist in the space and doing it to their economic advantage. And so where the terrestrial guys are primarily have been primarily fishing in that revenue pool that's a $2, $3 a thousand revenue pool, the pure plays like the couple I mentioned are able to actually fish in different revenue pools, specifically the digital agencies.
We know times are tough, budgets are tight, so we wonder, do your interactive managers blow most of their budgets on research, analysis, more research, long-winded panel discussions, and even more unneeded research? Do they talk to people who use the word research way too much?
There's some good implications from this research of research, sort of meta-research we did, looking at all these different academic and industry studies. So there's some pointers that media agency, advertiser, content people can take out of this, and researchers. We tried to distill down these 5 research questions that we applied to this body of research.
Have you noticed? Even the best hyperlocal websites, complete with great talent, great content, and lots of resources, are being dumped. Recently, Gannett pulled the plug on their hyperlocal money pit called In Jersey. And after just 3 months, All Britain Communications threw in the towel with TBD in the Washington, D.C. area. Even the mighty Washington Post said the hyperlocal thing can't work when they shut down their local project called Loudoun Extra. They were probably so embarrassed that they spent huge amounts of money on executives that could build cool websites and burn through lots of cash, but had no idea how to turn a profit, no idea how to sell local direct advertisers. What did these sites have in common? They were all led by editorial first strategies. Sales, seemingly, was an afterthought. The really smart executives in charge were all mainly salaried. They got full pay whether or not they made money. That is no way to run a startup business. Are the VPs of digital paid a straight salary at your company? The reason why we ask is because, publishers or broadcast general managers are heavily motivated not only with money, but with job security. If they don't hit their numbers, they lose money. They keep that up for a while, they lose their job. Why don't we run our websites that way? If you have internet managers BSing you with how many page views they're getting, how many awards they're winning, or how many Facebook fans they have, that's all nice, but it's worthless without real cash flow and profit. If any of this seems crazy, uncomfortable, or just downright wrong, may I direct your attention to the friendly folks at Alden Global Capital. They're a private equity firm that invests in distressed media properties. The strategy for Alden is simple. Get control of the media company, make changes, sell them at a profit. Alden Global Capital has significant investments in Tribune, Media News, Philadelphia Inquirer, Journal Register, Belo, Gannett, just to name a few. When Alden takes control, they politely ask, wait a second. When Alden takes control, they force you to run your site like a business. At first, they're going to want you to cut costs and move towards a full-time digital-first strategy. But then they're going to ask you how you're going to grow top-line revenue, especially with local direct web business. Cutting costs is easy. Going digital first is relatively easy, but growing top-line web revenue is tough. Local direct sales is growing much more difficult every day, especially with Google, Patch, and Reach Local going after local business dollars. Can your staff compete against this?
Before starting with Reach Local, our marketing efforts consisted of the multiple listing service, rentalhomesplus.com, and our own personal website at forrentorlando.com. Reach Local has actually helped reduce our vacancy rate by about 52%, which has actually increased our monthly revenue approximately to $3,200 a month in residual income at the present time. We've currently been with Reach Local for about 7 months, and the results have been outstanding.
Hi, my name is Andrew Twidwell. You may know me from trainingforcontractors.com. I don't know about you, but I hate my Yellow Page ad rep. I mean, they suck. I spend more and more money for the same size ad, and I'm getting fewer and fewer calls every year. I've been running ads in the Yellow Pages for over 10 years for my plumbing company. I've been getting, it worked for a while. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. It did work for a while. But over the years, I'm getting fewer and fewer calls, and I'm spending more and more money. It didn't make any sense. So out of frustration, I decided to take some of those ad dollars and put them to work for me on the internet. Lo and behold, I started getting work from it. So then I took a little bit more money out of the Yellow Page budget and put it into the internet, into my internet marketing. And now I'm getting over 50% of all my service work is coming out of the internet for about 10% of what it cost me to put an ad on the Yellow Pages. Look, old school advertising just isn't working like it once did. When was the last time you actually used your Yellow Pages? I know if I want information, I just go on my smartphone or go on the internet to look it up.
Hey Selena, how you doing? I'm Dr. Cherry. It's very nice to meet you. I think we're doing a consultation for you today. A periodontist is a dentist specializing in the treatment of gum disease. In addition, we treat dental implants, place them surgically, as well as do a variety of cosmetic procedures. I'm going to lean you back if that's okay. We'll take a look in there.
You work hard to establish rapport, and then to have somebody else treat you that you don't know can be somewhat unsettling. Being a solo practitioner, my patients know when they come to see me, they're going to see me. I recently relocated my practice up here to Alpharetta, Georgia. You have to be concerned about losing some of your existing patients because sometimes they don't want to travel that far. In order to offset any potential attrition that I may have experienced, I pumped up my advertising by increasing my ad size in the Yellow Pages, both in the Metro directory as well as the companion directories. In addition, I listed my website on yellowpages.com and did a video ad and an audio ad. Without a doubt, I think the video ad was the best thing that I have done. It allows patients to establish rapport with me before they ever come to the office. They love it.